So what is the easiest painting for a first-time painter to do? Check out this sunset palm tree and let me walk you through the steps of it and see how you do. Hey guys, welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the easiest and simplest painting for a first-time painter to start with. And this is for those of you that have never picked up a brush, never taken an art class, or maybe you took an art class in high school or when you were younger and you remembered that you liked it. This video is for you, so to kind of get you back into that creative groove and break away some of the things that you might find difficult about getting started. So I'm going to actually talk about our supplies that we're going to use, the brushes and the brush strokes that I'll have you make. I will talk about our mixing of our paint and then even blending on our canvas or on our panel. So you're going to walk away with a really good basic understanding of your tools that you will utilize in the future. And I do actually encourage you to do this painting multiple times. And as you do it more, you actually get a little bit more and more comfortable. And as you get more comfortable, maybe swap out some of those colors. So instead of you doing the sunset colors, maybe you swap them out for shades of blue and you have a daytime sunset palm or daytime palm tree instead of a sunset palm tree. But I'll encourage you, after you get a little bit more comfortable, to experiment a little bit, because that is where you're going to learn even more. Let's go ahead and get started painting. For your supplies, please check the description box below. I've kept them pretty simple with Liquitex basics and a few simple brushes. You'll need a water cup, your surface to paint on, that can be any size canvas, your brushes, your paint, and a mixing plate, as well as a paper towel to wipe off your brushes. Now when you're starting your brush strokes, there's 3 brush strokes I want you to try. The first one's going to be your wide brush stroke, and that's using the full width of your wide flat brush with a nice kind of back and forth motion. Then I want you to take that same brush, turn it sideways, this is thin or skinny version, and do that same back and forth motion, and you'll notice that it creates a smaller line, covers a little less area, but this is nice when you are blending colors. The last brush stroke I want you to try is the most fun. It's literally taking out all your stress and frustration on the canvas, making X marks and kind of slapping your brush back and forth. Now as you're using your brushes today, I do want you to kind of mind the pressure of your brush. The lighter you can touch your brush to the canvas, the skinnier the line it's going to be. The more you push your brush against the canvas, the fatter the line and the more your brush strokes show up. Now this is something that I don't want you to stress over, but just kind of keep in mind as you're getting comfortable with your brushes and with the tools that you're using today. You do get better with this the more that you practice. Now you've got your paints here, and we are going to start with our lightest color and work our way darker. So I want you to grab a big glob of that white, put it onto a clean spot on your palette, and then grab a small amount of your yellow paint. And just start off with a small amount and mix that in with your white paint. And we are going for a light lemony color here. And it is always best to get in the habit of starting light and working darker, which is what we will be doing today. The tools that I'm using is an 11 by 14 canvas panel. You can actually paint on any size canvas or panel that you like, and you don't necessarily have to paint on an easel like I am today. You can paint flat on the table. This is just going over those brush strokes that we already tried. And you will be taking your light pastel color and you're going to be covering about the bottom 3 to 4 inches of your canvas. If you are painting on a stretched canvas, make sure that you paint the edges, completely optional, but it does look nice when you hang this on your wall and you have that color wrap around the side. And if you notice that you're holding your breath right now, please breathe. We do tend to hold our breath when we are doing something for the first time. When you are done with this color, do make sure you take one of your progress pictures. So now we're going to make a darker yellow than what we were just using. So taking your brush, grab a little bit more yellow, mix it right on top of the pile that you were just using. And we're just going for a darker shade or a brighter shade of yellow than what you were just using. Now you're going to take this and you're going to apply it above your light yellow, but I also want you to overlap this darker yellow on top of the light lemony yellow. And as you move your brush on the two colors, the two shades of yellow, you'll notice that the two actually blend together. This is what we call a wet on wet blending method. Now you're going to take a little bit of orange, mix it on top of that yellow mixture that you were just using, and now we're going for a nice little sherbet orange to place on top of our shades of yellow. Now doing the same thing here, take that sherbet orange color and you're going to overlap some of that yellow color a little bit, and again, as you move your brush back and forth, the two colors blend together. Mind your pressure as you're doing this. I'm actually using a light pressure as I paint this one today and allowing just the tips of my brush to kind of blend each color together. If you need to, you can add a little bit of water to your brush. Just keep in mind you never want your brush dripping wet, but a tiny amount of water will help the fluidity of the colors kind of blend together. If you feel like using your fingers to blend, just go for it. It's acrylic paint, so it wipes off really easily with soap and water. And again, here at this point, we're going to be adding more orange, making a darker mixture. And again, just mix right on top of the colors you were just using. And adding, looks like a little bit more orange and a touch of red to start bringing it up into the warmer, more magenta shades. Again, this is your painting. You can adjust your colors if you want it more red or more oranges. Feel free to kind of just play with the colors that you like. So now we're going to make a light pink. So you're going to take your blob of white, make a new pile, and then I want you to grab some red or magenta from the pile you just made, not from the original paint pile, but from your pile that you had already mixed. And grab just a small amount of that, mix it in with the white, and we're going for a light pink color. Again, you can adjust the shade to your liking. And you are going to take this color and we are going to fill the entire remaining top portion of the canvas with this color. If you would like to be adding purple into your sky, you can. This part is optional, so take a little bit of purple, mix it in with the light pink mixture you were just using, and you're going to be taking this color and adding it to the edges of the top portion of your canvas. Again, playing with that wet on wet blending and using kind of a slight pressure on top of this other color. Now at this point, you do want to kind of do whatever you want to your background before we move into putting our palm trees on here. So if your background is still wet, play with those colors, play with your blending. You can always add a little bit of water to your brush, but again, you never want it dripping wet. But you do want to work with your paint while it is wet and it's easier to blend and move around. So go ahead, go back to any of the colors that you've been using, play with your blending, play with adding other colors on top of each other, and get your background to where you want it before we move into black paint and the silhouettes of our palm trees. All right, so now we're going to be moving into one of our smaller flat brushes, and we're going to put our ground on the bottom of our canvas and then move into our palm trees. So you want to add your ground about 2 to 3 inches or 1 to 2 inches above the bottom of the canvas, and it doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. I recommend kind of getting that line all the way across, and then you'll be filling in your space with black paint. And just a tip, you'll be painting a little bit more opaque, so feel free to apply your black paint a little bit thicker if you can see any of your background showing through. As we move into the next step, I'm going to actually recommend that you practice your palm tree on a scrap sheet of paper. And you will see a step-by-step drawing right here. Practice this on your scrap paper multiple times before you go onto your canvas. But don't spend too long on there, because I do want you to jump in and get your palm trees on your canvas. And here we're putting the palm tree trunk in first. And I started my brush where I wanted my palm tree to end, and I allowed kind of gravity to just pull my hand down to the ground of the canvas. Now don't stress about your palm trees being perfectly straight, or if they actually have a little bit of a wiggle in their trunk. Palm trees grow in many, many directions, so don't stress about getting this perfect. You're going to go ahead and add as many or as few palm trees in here as you like. I will be putting 3 of them in here today, but go ahead and put all your palm tree trunks in there right now. Again, as you're working with this, mind the pressure of your brush. If you happen to have a thicker palm tree, that's okay. I do want you to practice this painting multiple times, and you will get better and more comfortable with your palm trees and with the brush. All right, so for our palm fronds, I want you to start with 1 at a time, and I want you to do the first 2 palm fronds first. And I want you to imagine that each palm frond is hugging the tree trunk of the palm tree. So the first 2 kind of hook in towards that palm tree. And then you'll be doing the remaining palm fronds based off of that kind of flare. Now moving into the next couple. All right, doing a good job. Don't overanalyze what you're getting into. Go ahead and get those palm fronds in there. Go ahead and put all the palm fronds on all your trees. And I don't want you to stop until you have finished all your palm trees. When you have finished all your palm trees, do take your progress picture and keep moving into the next step. All right, for the individual leaves on each palm frond, take it one frond at a time. And you'll be using the small pointy brush, and it's almost like you're making little dash marks. I want you to imagine that each brush stroke that you make is a leaf on your palm frond. So you're kind of starting on one side, and they're gonna flare out, and I do want you to do both sides of the palm frond. And keep going until all your palm fronds have leaves on them. Don't stop, don't overanalyze what you're doing. Keep on painting, don't stop in the middle. You're doing better than you think you're doing, and you're not even done yet. If you find that you're holding your breath, please breathe. And those of you that are doing this for the second or third or fourth time, maybe consider actually making your palm fronds green and the tree trunks of your palm trees brown. Feel free to switch up some colors on your palm trees and not just your background. You're doing great, keep going. Keep on going until all your palm fronds have leaves on them. And again, don't worry, the leaves dance in the wind all the time, so don't stress about what it's looking like while it's in progress. And again, you will get better the more that you practice your palm trees. Now, once you are done with your painting, take a progress picture, and then I actually want you to get out of your room, go to the bathroom, wash your hands off, and walk back into the room and look at your painting from a distance. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting the sunset palm tree that we worked on today. I hope yours turned out really well. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, I want to encourage you to practice and keep on painting. You only get better and more comfortable the more that you do it. And the next time that you paint, the stuff that you learned today will make that much more sense. So painting's never ever about being perfect or photorealistic, but maybe learning a little bit more than the last time that you painted. And since this was your first time, you're going to learn even more the next time that you paint. So don't give up. Keep on painting. So question of the day. What was your favorite part about your first painting? Share that in the comments below. I do like to see that. If you haven't subscribed to the page, go ahead and do that now. Check out some of my other videos. Check out the future ones that I'm going to be creating. If you'd like more information about the supplies that I used or things that I talked about in the video, check the description box below. I'm going to put a bunch of links and more info in there. Again, thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Cheers. this, blah. Oh, let's try that again. Start over.